How do I heal this rift that's between me and my spouse? Ultimately, we want to have a more connected, passionate, sexual relationship with our partner, and this is going to help you do that. Hey, brother. Today on a coaching call, I spoke with a man who has a lot of scar tissue between his spouse and him, and it causes fights and animosity, and he feels like a failure in the relationship because he's not man enough to be able to know what to do and fix this, right? Well, it certainly has nothing to do with not being man enough. That rift between his spouse and him, a lot of that is caused by his expectations of her, his unspoken covert contracts of her, and his unconscious contracts for himself as well. Our goal as men is to be on our purpose and validate ourselves. The paradox of long-term relationship is we love her, we want her, but we don't have to have her. Needing validation, must having sex from her on call, expecting perfection from her, expecting perfection from ourselves, is only going to lead to pain and disappointment. He's had expectations put on him of perfection from probably a long time ago, probably from parents that were meaning well, but came out in anxiety and nervousness and him never feeling like he's good enough. He needs to talk to that little boy inside him that feels like he's not good enough. And how do we do this? I recommended that he journal and literally write to that little boy inside of him. Picture yourself. Get a picture of yourself when you were a kid if you need to, and talk to him. Ask him how he's doing. Literally. Build rapport with that little boy inside of you. The second step is to ask him what are some good things that he remembers and what are some not so good things that he remembers. And feel what comes up for you. Most likely, that little boy, you, inside of you, is going to tell you right away where his pain is. That's a gigantic source of this conflict that you have with your spouse. Harville Hendricks and Imago Therapy states that we unconsciously find a spouse in an attempt to heal childhood wounds that we've most likely suffered from our parents. Now, I'm not going to go deep into therapy discussion here. This is about what do we do from here? How do we solve this? We speak to that little boy. We ask him how he's doing, and we ask him what he remembers that was tough or sad or that made him angry or that was painful that he remembers. And open up. Tell him, hey, share with me. I've done this myself when I was in the throes of anger about my past relationship, and it does work. It seems a little weird. Do it when nobody's around. I don't care. But talk to that little boy who's still inside of you. He's a big cause of what's going on between you and your spouse, and you don't even know it. Ask him where the pain is. Now, you don't need to try to fix it for him. Just like speaking with a woman, this is an emotional conversation. You're not going to try to fix something. You're not going to try to fix a woman who's emotional, and you're not trying to fix this little boy's problem. What you're there to do is to notice and validate him and to be there for him, just like you're fathering your own self. Ask him what his pain is. Ask him to explain it to you. And then literally, if you like, out loud, say, I'm here for you. Or if you're writing, write to him, I am here for you, I understand. Just flushing these things out is a gigantic step toward healing the rift between you and your spouse. We ask ourselves, why do we explode when we have something minor happen with our spouse? Why do we shut down? Now, yes, she has her little girl shit too. And your little boy and her little girl are basically fighting or having an argument, and there's animosity there. Now, we can't fix her little girl for her. That's her work. But what we can do is speak to our little boy. We can understand what he's going through, and we can be there and empathize with him. And that's a gigantic step toward healing this rift between you and your spouse. Now, as long as that rift's there, you're not going to get the sex that you want. So what do we get out of this? Ultimately, we want to have a more connected, passionate, sexual relationship with our partner. And this is going to help you do that. Understand the pain that that little boy has, that he's basically taking out on this relationship you have now with your girlfriend, with your spouse. You need to know what that is. Then we can take steps further in another video of other details of how to handle this. The first step is just being aware. Many men, when they're aware, are able to take gigantic strides forward to not take their shit out on other people. And you don't need your little boy to be arguing with her little girl. That's not attractive. That's not going to turn her on. That's not going to get you the sex and respect and amazing relationship that you want. Talk to you again soon, brother.
I'm gonna tell you about a woman whose heart is sunshine, whose body burn hot. I'm gonna tell you about a woman who's cold as tundra with some frozen eyes. I can tell by the way she moves that she cares, and it's lovely too.